Namo Vishnupadaya
Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale
Krishna Prestaya Bhutale
Srimate Bhakti Vedanta
Srimate Bhakti Vedanta
Swamin Niti Namine
Swamin iti namine
Namaste Saraswate Deve
Namaste Saraswati Deve
Gauravani Pracharini
Gauravani Pracharine
Nirvishesha Shunyavadi
Nirvishesha Sunyavadi
Paschatya Deshatarine
Pashyatya Desatarine
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya
Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya
Prabhu Nityananda
Prabhu Nityananda
Shri Advaita Gadadara
Sri Advaita Gadadhara
Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Rama Hare Rama
Hare Rama Hare Rama
Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Rama Rama Hare Hare.
So these are three verses which talk about various foods under various modes. So all of us please repeat after me. Ayu Sattva Balarogya
Ayu Sattva Balarogya
Sukha Priti Vivardhanaha
Sukha Priti Vivardhanaha
Rasya Snigdha Stira Hridya
Rasya Snigdha Stira Hridya
Ahara Satvika Priyaha.
Ahara Satvika Priyaha.
Once again, Ayu Sattva Balarogya
Ayu Sattva Balarogya
Sukha Priti Vivardhanaha
Sukha Priti Vivardhanaha
Rasya Snigdha Stira Hridya
Rasya Snigdha Stira Hridya
Ahara Satvika Priyaha.
Ahara Satvika Priyaha.
Next, Katu Amla Lavanati Ushna
Katuamla Lavanati Ushna
Tikshna Ruksha Vidahinaha
Tikshna Ruksha Vidahinaha
Ahara Rajasasyeshta
Ahara Rajaseshtya
Dukkha Shokamaya Pradaha
Dukkha Shokamaya
Pradaha
Katu Amla Lavanati Ushna
Katuamla Lavanati
Lavanati
Ushna
Tikshna Ruksha Vidahinaha
Tikshna Ruksha Vidahinaha
Ahara Rajasasyeshta
Ahara Rajaseshtha
Dukkha Shokamaya Pradaha
Dukkha
Dukkha Shokamaya
Pradaha
Yatayamam Gatarasam
Yatayamam Gatarasam
Puti Paryushitam Chayat
Puti Paryushitam Chayat
Uchistam Api Chamedyam
Uchistam
Apichamedyam
Bhojanam Tamasapriyam
Bhojanam Tamasapriyam
Priyam
Yatayamam Gatarasam
Yatayamam
Yatayamam
Gatarasam
Gatarasam
Puti Paryushitam Chayat
Puti Paryushitam Chayat
Uchistam Api Chamedyam
Uchistam Apichamedyam
Bhojanam Tamasapriyam.
Bhojanam Tamasapriyam.
So in three verses, Krishna had explained about foods in three modes. First, he started with Sattva Guna, where he was saying, Ayu, Bala, Arogya, Shuka Priti, Vivardhana. The foods in the mode of goodness increase, Ayuhu, duration of life. Sattva, purify one's existence. Bala, give strength. Arogya, health. Shuka, Priti, Vivardhana, happiness and satisfaction. Such nourishing foods are Rasya, Snigdha, Stira, Hridya. They are sweet, juicy, fattening, and palatable. These are all foods under Sattva Guna. Then Katu, Amla, Lavana, Ati Ushnaha. So these foods which are too bitter, too sour, salty, pungent, Then Tikshna, Ruksha, Vidahinaha, dry and hot. They are Ahara, Rajasa, Sheshta. They are liked by people in the mode of passion. And the result is Dukkha, Shokamaya, Pradaha. They cause pain, distress, and disease. Then foods of Tamoguna, Yatayamam Gatarasam, Puti Paryushitam Chayat. Yatayama means cooked before more than 4 hours, 3 hours before. Then that is Gatarasam, which is tasteless, Puti, stale, Paryushitam, putrefied, Uchistam cha api cha amedyam, that which is decomposed, unclean, is food. Bhojanam tamasa priyam is food liked by people in the mode of ignorance. So the purpose of food is to increase the duration of life, to purify the mind, and to aid in bodily strength. So what is the authority? Past authorities selected foods according to above mentioned purposes, like milk products, sugar, rice, wheat, fruits, and vegetables. So some other foods such as baked corn and molasses, while not very palatable in themselves, can be made pleasant when mixed with milk or other foods. So these fatty foods and proteins, only animal fat of milk is allowed. This is the civilized method of obtaining the needed fat for the body. It rules out any need for animal slaughter. So there are subhuman way, that is fat from animal slaughter, and proteins are available from split beans, dal, whole wheat, all these things. All proteins are also can be utilized from these pulses to the body. Then foods in the mode of passion, which are bitter, salty, or hot, or overly mixed with red pepper, cause misery by producing mucus in the stomach, leading to disease. Then foods in the mode of ignorance are essentially those that are not fresh. Any cooked food more than 3 hours before it is eaten, it is, except prasadam. Prasadam has no limitation. Because they are decomposing, such foods give a bad odor. And remnants of food are considered to be in the mode of darkness, and they increase infection or disease. The best food is remnants of what is offered to the Supreme Lord, prasadam. And only way to make food antiseptic, eatable, and palatable for all persons is to offer the food to the Supreme Lord and accept its remnants, offering the bhoga to the Lord and accepting the Mahaprasadam. So as suggested by the Lord in Bhagavad Gita, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam, it should be offered with love and devotion. These are the main criteria for in which the Lord accepts the foodstuffs. So similarly in Bhagavatam, 11th canto, Uddhava Gita, Krishna says, Patyam Putam Anayastam Aharyam Satvikam Stutam Rajasam Che Indriya Prestam Tamasam Charti Dashusi. So the food that is wholesome, pure, and obtained without difficulty is in the mode of goodness. So Anayasta means which is obtained without any difficulty. Then the food that gives immediate pleasure to the senses. Rajasam cha indriya prestam is in the mode of passion. Tamasam cha arti dashuchi, and the food is unclean, asuchi, and causes distress. Arti is in the mode of ignorance. So what is a word about mamsa? We all say meat. What is the actual meaning of that word meat as described by Manu Samhita? Mamsha bhakshayiti amutra yasya mamsam idami ihadmi aham etan mamshasya mamsatvam pravadanti manishinaha. So it says that which I am eating here will eat me in my next life. For this reason, the learned say that meat is called mamsa, a repeated act. I eat him, he eats me. Like in this life, I am killing an animal for my sense gratification. I am giving the power of attorney for that animal to kill and eat me in the next life. So it also completely forbids the eating of fish. Yo yasya mamsam asnati satan mamsad uchyate masyada sarva mamsadas tasman masyan vivarjayet. Those who eat the meat of a particular animal are known as eaters of that particular animal. But those who eat fish eat the meat of everything, because a fish eats the meat of all living entities, such as cows and pigs. It even consumes rotten things. Those who eat fish actually eat the meat of all beings. Because the dead bodies, when they are thrown into the river, the fish eats all these dead bodies. In that way, one who eats the fish becomes liable for eating all the meat of all the other animals also, living entities also.
The stricture on the eating of meat, does that derive from the fact that animals have their lives which are accorded?
Vegetable has got life.
Yeah, well I'm asking, is that because animals have a higher priority in life than vegetables?
No question of priority.
Not a priority.
Our philosophy is that we are servant of God. So God will eat, and whatever remnants of food stuff is left, that we shall take. So, in the Bhagavad Gita, you find out this verse. Patram puspam phalam toyam jumi bhaktya pradechat. It's like you have come here. So if I want to offer you something for eatable, it is my duty to ask you, Mr. Nixon, which food stuff you like to eat? So you dictate, I like this very much. Then if I offer you that food stuff, then you become pleased. So we have called Krishna in this temple. So we are waiting what food stuff he wants to eat. So he said that
if one offers me with loving devotion a leaf, a flower, fruit, or water, I will accept it.
Patram puspam phalam. He is asking very simple thing, which everyone can offer. Just like a little leaf, patram, a little flower, puspam, a little fruit, and little liquid, either water or milk. So we offer that. We make different varieties with these ingredients, patram, puspam, phalam, toyam. And after Krishna's eating, we take. We are servants. We take the remnants of food stuff left by Krishna. We are neither vegetarian nor non-vegetarian. We are prasadian. We don't care for vegetable and non-vegetable because either you kill a cow or kill a vegetable, the sinful action is there. And according to nature's law, it is said that the animals which has no hand, that is the food for the animals with hands. We are also animals with hands. We human beings, we are also animals with hands. And there are animals, no hand but 4 legs. And there are animals which has no leg, that is vegetable. Opadani chatuspadam. These animals which has no leg, they are food for the animals with 4 legs. Just like cow eats grass, the goat eats grass. So eating vegetable, there is no credit. Then the goats and the cows have more credit because they don't touch anything except vegetable. So we are not preaching to become goats and cows. We are preaching that you become servant of Krishna. So whatever Krishna eats, we eat. If Krishna says that give me meat, give me eggs, so we shall offer Krishna meat and eggs and we shall take it. So don't think that we are after vegetarian, non-vegetarian. No, that is not our philosophy. Because either you take vegetable or you take meat, you are killing. And you have to kill. Because otherwise you cannot live. That is nature's way.
Yeah.
So we are not for that way.
Well, why do you put the stricture on
Stricture in this way, no meat eating, because cow protection is required. We require milk. And instead of taking milk, if we eat the cows, then where is milk?
So milk is very important.
Very, very important.
In terms of the production of food for the world would be much better off without
meat
any
is
animals.
required. some fatty, vitaminous food is required. That necessity is supplied by milk. Therefore, specifically,
couldn't you get all the necessity that you require from grains?
Grains, no. Grains, they are starch. According to medical science, we require 4 different groups: starch, carbohydrate, protein, and fat. That is full food. So you can get all these things by eating rice, dal, pulses, and wheat. These things contain pulses, and wheat contains protein. And milk also contains protein. So protein we require, fat we get from milk, fat is required, and vegetables, carbohydrate, and food grain, starch. So if you prepare nice food stuff with all these ingredients, you get food and offer to Krishna, then it is purified, then you are free from all sinful activity. Otherwise, even if you kill vegetable, you are sinful. Because it has got life. You have no right to kill another life. But you have to live on life. This is your position. Therefore the solution is that you take prasada. If there is sin by eating vegetable or meat, it goes to the eater. We take the remnant.
So next, Krishna explains about sacrifice. So these 3 verses next talk about this sacrifice, goodness, passion, and ignorance. Please repeat after me. Afala kankshibir yajno
Apalakankshibiryagno
vididishtoya ijjate yastavyam yeveti manaha samadaya sa satvikaha. Afala kankshibir yajno vididishtoya ijjate yastavyam yeveti manaha samadaya sa satvikaha. So this is talking about sacrifices, yajnaha. That sacrifice performed according to duty and to scriptural rules and with no exception of reward is in the nature of goodness. Afala kankshibhihi means without expectation of any reward. Then vidhi drishtaha, as performed as per duty and scriptural regulations. So samadhaya cha satvikaha is fixed in the mode of goodness. So the general tendency to offer sacrifice with some purpose in mind, but here it is stated that sacrifice should be performed without any such desire. So people always do some things in anticipation of something, expectation of something. That's why Satvika means afala kankshi, no akanksha, no expectation. And it should be performed as a matter of duty. The performance of rituals in temples or in churches, for example, one should go to a temple or church, offer respect to the Supreme Lord and offer flowers and eatables. But worship for economic benefit is not recommended in the scriptural injunctions. So this is the primary point. And generally they are performed with the purpose of material benefit, but that is not in the mode of goodness. So duty of every civilized man is to obey the injunctions of the scriptures, to offer respect to the Supreme Lord. So this is the duty of every civilized human being. Next, yajna in the mode of Rajasa. Abhisandaya tu phalam.
Abhisandhaya tu phalam.
Dhambardam api chaivayat.
Dambhardam apichayat.
Ijjate bharata shreshta.
Ijyate bharata shreshta.
Tam yajnam vidhi rajasam.
Tam yajnam vidhi rajasam.
Abhisandaya tu phalam.
Abhisandhaya tu phalam.
Dhambardam api chaivayat.
Dambhardam apichayat.
Ijjate bharata shreshta.
Ijyate bharata shreshta.
Tam yajnam vidhi rajasam.
Tam yajnam vidhi rajasam.
So this is abhisandaya tu phalam, in expectation of a result. Dhambartham api chayavayat, or in for material pride, material benefits. So one who worships the sacrifice, Bharata Shrestha, O Arjuna, tam yajnam, that kind of sacrifice is considered as in the mode of passion. So, but that sacrifice performed for some material end or benefit or performed ostentatiously out of pride is in the mode of passion, O chief of the Bharatas. So sometimes sacrifices and rituals are performed for elevation to the heavenly kingdom or for some material benefits in this world. So these are all considered in the mode of passion. Now next, please repeat. Sacrifices in the mode of ignorance. Vidhihinam asrishtanam.
Vidhihinam asrishtanam.
Mantrahinam adakshinam.
Mantrahinam adakshinam.
Shraddha virahitam yajnam.
Yajnam.
Tamasam parichakshate.
Tamasam parichakshate.
Vidhihinam asrishtanam.
Vidhihinam asrishtanam.
Mantrahinam adakshinam.
Mantrahinam
adakshinam.
Shraddha virahitam yajnam.
Yajnam.
Tamasam parichakshate.
Tamasam parichakshate.
So vidhihina means without any scriptural injections, no direction from Shastra. Ashrishtanam, where there is no prasadam distributed. Mantrahinam, where there are no mantras are chanted. Adakshinam, where the priests are not given any dakshina, charity. Shraddha virhitam, which is performed without faith. That yajnam tamasam parichakshate is in the mode of ignorance. So, and that sacrifice performed in defiance of scriptural injunctions, this is vidhihinam. So then, in which no spiritual food is distributed, ashrishtanam, no hymns are chanted, mantrahinam, and no remunerations are made to the priest, adakshinam, and which is faithless, shraddha virahitam. That sacrifice is of the nature of ignorance. Yajnam tamasam parichakshate. The faith in the mode of darkness is actually faithlessness. So sometimes people worship some demigod just to make money and then spend the money for recreation, ignoring the scriptural injunctions. Such ceremonial shows of religiosity are not accepted as genuine. They produce a demoniac mentality and do not benefit human society. This is the perspective of performing sacrifice in the mode of ignorance. So this is a small perspective. The ticket conductor was doing the rounds in a train, checking tickets, and he came across a sadhu in a saffron clothes. The official asked the sadhu where he was going. The sadhu replied he was going to the land where Lord Rama was born. And the ticket collector asked him, do you have a ticket? The sadhu replied, no. Then the ticket collector said, well, then you will have to come to the place where Krishna was born. So then the sadhu asked, what does that mean? This means you have to come to the jail where Krishna took birth because you are traveling without a ticket. So in the material world perspective is, we see sometimes sadhus are given an opportunity, lenience in the earlier times, because they are all genuine people who have renounced the world. But modern day people, in the name of fake, many people are in the name of fake advertisements. They try to exploit the society, all these things. And in that way, what is happening is the genuine people are also getting stamped as fake people. So we have to be very careful when we are going to represent a system or an institution. So that's why Prabhupada made it a system of institution so that the sadhus are appreciated because they represent the institution. So next, Krishna explains about here various perspectives of austerities. So when you say tapasya, tapasya comes from body, mind and words. Manasa, vacha, karman. So similarly, now this is talking about different types of austerity. Please repeat after me. Deva Dvija Guru Prajna.
Devadvija Guru Prajna.
Pujanam Sauchamarjavam.
Pujanam Sauchamarjavam.
Brahmacharyam Ahimsa cha.
Brahmacharyam ahimsa cha.
Shariram Tapa Uchyate.
Shariram Tapausyate.
Devadvija Guru Prajna.
Devadvija Guru Prajna.
Pujanam Sauchamarjavam.
Pujanam Sauchamarjavam.
Brahmacharyam Ahimsa cha.
Brahmacharyam Ahimsa cha.
Shariram Tapa Uchyate.
Shariram Tapausyate.
So these are the austerities of the body. Shariram Tapa Uchyate. So worship of the demigods, brahmanas, spiritual master, and all worshipable personalities. So Sauchyam, cleanliness, Arjavam, simplicity, Brahmacharyam, celibacy, Ahimsacha, non-violence. These are all considered as austerities of the body. Shariram Tapa Uchyate. So the austerity of the body consists in this worship of the Supreme Lord, the Brahmanas, the spiritual master, and the superiors like father and mother. Cleanliness, simplicity, celibacy, and non-violence are also austerities of the body. So here, Prabhupada explains in the purport, one should offer or learn to offer respect to God or the demigods, the perfect qualified Brahmanas, and the spiritual master and superiors like father, mother, or any other person who is conversant with Vedic knowledge. So he is saying, who is conversant with Vedic knowledge. That is the prime criteria, who are first worthy of receiving the respect from us. So one should practice cleansing of the body externally and internally, and he should learn to become simple in behavior, because simplicity attracts others. Artificial behavior will not attract others. He should not do anything which is not sanctioned by the scriptural injunctions. And celibacy means he should not indulge in sex outside of married life. For sex is sanctioned in the scriptures only in marriage, not otherwise. So this is also called as celibacy only. So next, this is austerities of words, walk. Please repeat after me. Anudvega karam vakyam.
Anudvega karam vakyam.
Satyam priyahitam chayat.
Satyam priyahitam chayat.
Swadhyaya abhyasanam chaiva.
Swadhyaya abhyasanam chaiva.
Vanmayam tapa uchyate.
Vanmayam tapa uchyate.
Anudvega karam vakyam.
Anudvega karam vakyam.
Satyam priyahitam chayat.
Satyam priyahitam chayat.
Priyahitam chaya.
Swadhyaya abhyasanam chaiva.
Swadhyaya abhyasanam chaiva.
Vanmayam tapa uchyate.
Vanmayam tapa uchyate.
So this is austerities of walk, words. Anudvega karam vakyam, words which do not agitate others. Satyam, those which are truthful. Priyahitam chayat, those which are beneficial. Swadhyaya abhyasanam chaiva, and one should also recite the Vedas regularly. So these are austerities of words, austerities of speech. So austerity of speech consists in speaking truthfully, satyam, and beneficially, priyahitam, and in avoiding speech that offends, anudvega karam vakyam. So one should also recite the Vedas regularly. Swadhyayana abhyasanam cha eva. So one should not speak in such a way as to agitate the minds of others. Like when a teacher speaks, he can speak the truth for the instruction of his students. But a teacher should not speak to others who are not his students if he will agitate their minds. So this is penance as far as talking is concerned. Besides that, one should not talk any nonsense. And when speaking in spiritual circles, one's statements must be upheld by the scriptures. So one should at once quote from scriptural authority to back up what he is saying. And at the same time, such talk should be very pleasurable to the ear. By such discussions, one may derive the highest benefit and elevate a human society. That is the purpose of this talk. So in a lecture, Prabhupada says, but we are not meant for that purpose. It may be very unpalatable, but the fact is like that. Satyam bruyat priyam bruyat, ma bruyat satyam abhruyat. It is a social convention that if you want to speak truth, you speak truth very palatable, flattering. Don't speak unpalatable truth. But we are not meant for that purpose. Social convention. We are preachers, we are servant of God. We must speak the real truth. You may like it or may not like it. That is a godless civilization, cannot be happy in any stage. That is a fact. So devotees always humbly offer respect to everyone. But when there is a discussion on a point of Shastra, they do not observe the usual etiquette. Satyam bruyat, priyam bruyat. They speak only the Satyam, although it may not necessarily be priyam.
Anyone who does not care for the instruction given in the Shastra, just like anyone who doesn't care for the law of the state, what kind of man he is? He's a loafer, he's an outlaw, he's not a respectable citizen. Similarly, anyone who does not follow the Shastra, Shastra is meant for human being, not for the cats and dogs and hogs. As law is meant for the human being, not for the cats and dogs. Therefore, we have to follow the Shastric intention.
So next, this is austerity of the mind. So please repeat. Manah prasada saumyatvam. Maunam atma vinigraha. Bhava samshuddhir hi etad. Tapo manasam uchyate. Manah prasada saumyatvam. Maunam atma vinigraha. Bhava samshuddhir iti etad. Tapo manasam uchyate. So manah prasadaha, that is satisfaction of the mind. Saumyatvam, without duplicity towards others. Maunam, maunam means gravity. Atma vinigraha, self-control. Bhava samshuddhihi, purification of the nature. Iti eta tapo manasa muchyate. They are considered as austerities of the mind. Serenity, simplicity, gravity, self-control and purity of thought are the austerities of the mind. The basic principle is to practice this austerity of the mind. To make the mind austere is to detach it from sense gratification and train the mind to always thinking of doing good for others. So this is the biggest austerity. So gravity in thought is best training for the mind, not deviate from Krishna consciousness and avoid sense gratification always. Simplicity means to be void of duplicity and think welfare of all. Then purification of one's existence means one should be straightforward in his dealing. Self-control means control of mind implies detaching the mind from sense enjoyment. And silence means one is always thinking of self-realization. And satisfaction means obtained by taking mind away from thoughts of sense enjoyment. The more we think of sense enjoyment, the more mind becomes dissatisfied, agitated. And the best course to divert the mind is in the present age to get engaged in different ways. For sense gratification, there is no possibility of mind becoming satisfied. But by Vedic literatures like Puranas, Mahabharata, stories, one can take advantage of this knowledge and thus become purified. So there is a professor who was proficient, specialized in Gaudiya philosophy and theology. So those so lucky, sometimes like Srila Prabhupada said, he met him, welcomed him while talking, he took out a cigar and he began speaking. So he was like, he talks about bhakti, but only in an academic perspective, theoretical man. So the perspective is they can theoretically say, but practically it does not happen. Like we can't force you to show the sun. Sun has to rise itself and reveal himself. So similarly, if somebody wants to understand Krishna in truth, So it is Atah Shri Krishna Namadi Nabhavet Grahyam Indre Sevan Mukohi Jihvado Swayam Yevahi Spuratyadaha. The moment we become inclined in serving the Lord, Lord will reveal himself to us. So being just a professor in theoretical subjects, people will not pick up this the bhakti aspect. It has to be coming from inside. By practice, by sadhana, by service, things will be revealed to us. Theoretically, it doesn't happen. We have to practice it by all our body, mind, and austerities. Word tapasya. So next, now austerities in 3 modes. In Sattva Guna, now it is. Please repeat after me. Shraddhaya paraya taptam. Tapastad trividam naraihi. Afalakanshibir yuktaihi. Satvikam parichakshate. Shraddhaya paraya taptam. Tapastad trividam naraihi. Afalakanshibir yuktaihi. Satvikam parichakshate. So this threefold austerity practiced by men whose aim is not to benefit themselves materially but to please the Supreme is in the mode of nature of goodness. So this is Sattvika. It is done with transcendental faith, not expecting any material benefits, only for the sake of Supreme. Then Satkaramana Pujartam. Tapodambena Chaivayat. Priyate iha proktam. Rajasam chalamadruvam. Satkaramana pujartam. Tapodambena chaivayat. Kriyate tat iha proktam. Rajasam chalamadruvam. So that those ostentatious penances and austerities which are performed in order to gain respect, satkara, mana pujartam, to gain honor and reverence. Then tapo dambena chaiva, which are performed with pride and ostentatious, that is. So that these are considered as in the mode of passion. They are neither stable nor permanent. Chalam adruvam. Chalam means not stable, and adruvam means not permanent. They are temporary. So sometimes penance and austerity are executed to attract people and receive honor, respect, and worship from others. Like desire to be worshipped by subordinates, let them wash their feet and offer riches. Such arrangements artificially made by the performance of penances are considered to be in the mode of passion. And the results are temporary. They can be continued for some time, but they are not permanent. So now, austerity is in the mode of ignorance. Muda grahena atmano yat. Pidaya kriyate tapaha. Parasya ussadanartam va. Tat tamasam udahrutam. Muda grahena atmano yat. Pidaya kriyate tapaha. Parasya ussadanartam va. Tat tamasam udahrutam. So those penances and austerities which are performed foolishly, mudaha, by means of obstinate self-torture, grahena atmanaha, then or injure others, pidaya kriyate tapaha, are said to be or to destroy or injure others, are said to be in the mode of ignorance. Parasya ussadanartham. So that tat tamasam udahartam are in the mode of ignorance. So there are instances of foolish penance undertaken by demons like Hiranyakashipu, who performed austere penances to become immortal and kill the demigods. And to undergo penances for something which is impossible is certainly in the mode of ignorance.
In yogic philosophy, the whole universe can be divided into two main categories: Prakriti, Maya or illusion, and Purusha, reality. According to this philosophy, everything which is changeable, which is not infinite, is part of Maya. Purusha, on the other hand, is the only reality. It is the universe's only unchangeable element, the self, the soul. Everything within the Prakriti, the illusionary world, consists of three gunas or qualities. These three qualities are present in all objects in various degrees. One quality is always more present or dominant than the others in one. The three gunas are sattva, purity, rajas, activity, and tamas, darkness or destruction. Gunas are present in everything: humans, food, animate and innate objects. Let's try to understand more clearly the difference between each of the gunas and how you can stimulate one more than the others. Sattva, the guna of purity and harmony. Sattva manifests itself as purity, knowledge and harmony. It is the quality of goodness, joy, satisfaction, nobility and contentment. It is free of fear, violence, wrath and malice. Sattvic quality is pure and forgiving. It is the guna that people want to increase in order to reach the state of liberation. You can do this by eating sattvic food such as fresh fruits and vegetables, whole grains, by practicing yoga and living a non-violent lifestyle, surrounding yourself with positive people and performing activities that bring you and others joy. Next is rajas, the guna of passion and manipulation. Rajas represent itself by passion, action, energy and motion. Rajas is characterized by a feeling of attachment, a longing for satisfaction and desire. If you want to decrease the level of rajas, avoid consuming rajasic foods like fried and spicy food and stimulants such as caffeine. Tamas. Tamas manifests itself as impurity, laziness and darkness. It is the consequence of ignorance and it prevents all beings from seeing reality. In order to decrease the tamasic elements in your mind and body, avoid eating tamasic foods like alcohol, meat and processed food, and indulging in overeating and oversleeping. Gunas are everywhere. Gunas are present in every part of Maya. They can be seen in the day, seasons, food, thoughts and actions. For example, early morning has sattva, afternoons become rajasic and night brings tamasic.
So this is the basis of our understanding. Various modes at various times and various items, various qualities it impacts. So Bhagavad Gita also at the end it says there is no living entity within this world which is not free from these three modes. Within this 14 planetary system, they are all combined within these three modes. So different times, different modes become active and we become bound up accordingly. So we have to be very careful what kind of things we do, what kind of result we bear. So we should start with coming to Sattva Guna, and from Sattva Guna we should practice coming to devotional service to rise even above Sattva Guna, because even Sattva Guna will bind us to this material world. So thank you very much. Again, we'll meet in the next week. We'll understand more perspectives of these three modes and finally what charity in three modes, and Krishna also explains about Om Tat Sat. This is the word. What is the actual meaning of this word Om Tat Sat? In 3 verses, he explains, elaborates there. We'll technically analyze the verses and we'll get clarity about the perspective. Thank you. Hare Krishna.